Welcome back to American Agenda. The Biden administration celebrating Easter with the annual White House Easter egg roll today. This as the fallout continues from their decision to promote a transgender day of visibility on Easter Sunday.
That's right. And our president, who describes himself as a devout Catholic, even deciding to ban religious symbols and themes from the White House Easter egg art contest. House Speaker Mike Johnson, we know he already took to X, calling out Biden, writing, "The Biden White House has been betrayed the central tenet of Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ, banning sacred truth and tradition, while at the same time proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day is outrageous and abhorrent."
The attacks on all religions, not just Christianity, are only increasing here in the United States. And joining us now with reaction is host of the Father Leo Show, Father Leo Padalinghug, along with Managing Director of the Coalition for Jewish Values, Rabbi Yaakov Menken. Great to have you with us, gentlemen. We appreciate it. Rabbi, you took to X with your thoughts on Transgender Day of Visibility. Here's what you said. To be authentic, they have to live as the gender their chromosomes declare them to be, not pretending to be something they never will be. Interesting, because science seems to be thrown out the window these days in exchange for something that only serves the White House's woke agenda and panders to part of its electorate. Your thoughts?
Well, it's actually very tragic what they're doing, especially when they're doing it to minor children, but even to individuals who suffer from gender dysphoria. This is not something you solve by coddling to it. You have to solve it by helping that person to appreciate the reality and the value of who he or she is and who he or she will remain, no matter what sort of surgical procedures. You know, there's an industry developing here where these people become lifelong dependents on medical and pharmaceutical care to keep up the pretense of being something that they fundamentally are not. And obviously, that's a theology all its own. It's a religious belief. It's a religious belief which counters ours. And that's what really makes it offensive, that at the same time the Biden administration is saying that on a Sunday Easter egg celebration, they can't mention religion. But of course, they're promoting a religion all their own, which goes against all traditional faiths.
It's crazy. I mean, Easter is a religious holiday. We wouldn't have it had we not had the Christian faith in Jesus Christ here. Father Leo, your take on what went down yesterday with Transgender Day falling on Easter, the Biden White House just leaning into Transgender Day. What do you think?
It's absolutely a travesty that someone who claims to be Catholic would be so ashamed to even mention the name Jesus Christ. What's also sad is that our country is now looked at as a silly country. We take nothing seriously. And unfortunately, in his attempt to be inclusive, he has excluded the very people whose foundational faith helped make this country truly great. You know, this is reminding me of what it was like when Rome imploded, simply because of the sexual immorality and confusion that destroyed the basics of society, which is the family. And biology, because it was created by theology, says it. You need a man and a woman, not confusion.
Rabbi, you know, I want to point out here we're having a conversation with, we have a priest, we have you, a rabbi, you know, and it's just sad that people can no longer have dialogue with different people who may have different beliefs than they do. That's exactly what I'm happy that we are doing here. But the more you look at this country, it seems increasingly broken when you have people attacking Israelis and Jewish Americans, calling them horrible things. And then again, you have this administration trying to completely erase Christianity. What needs to happen, Rabbi Menken, to actually, Menken, to have this change? Can we go back to a more respectful time?
I think we absolutely can. And there's, you know, just the fact that Father Leo and I are appearing together and really talking a very similar language because of shared values and shared appreciation. Obviously, there's a theological chasm here, but yet we find the common ground and we talk about that's what real diversity is, ideological diversity. This idea, the modern era, they've claimed that human rights is demonizing Israel instead of addressing actual human rights challenges around the world. The idea that DEI basically says if you're a white person, you're inherently racist. For which purpose we're going to automatically include the Jews as white people, even when, by the way, you have Jews who are Syrian refugees from Syria, and they're being called having white privilege, while the descendants of those who persecuted and expelled the Jews, now they come to America and they're called oppressed. Where does that even work? Yeah. And just these false narratives. We have to stop rewriting history and engaging in revisionism. This is so familiar from Russia and even, dare I say, from the Nazi era. We can do a lot better than that. This is not American at all.
No, just erasing the history, acting like it didn't happen. Father Leo, question here. You got 30 seconds. We're almost out of time here. How do you explain maybe to the people that in the faith about voting for the Biden administration in November, especially given what you saw yesterday?
Well, we have to practice what we preach. First of all, we have to be people of faith. We have to love one another, but we also have to vote with a clear conscience. That means be informed. I prayed for the conversion of all political leaders every day, but I also take it as my responsibility to make sure that I'm voting for the person who actually represents our values and not trying to create another cultist religion.